Ah, day 4. Well, I'm hoping it is anyway. I think it is. Oh, that's interesting coming up. Is it a bike? There's a dog to the left. Person with a flag, and is it a bike? No, he's walking. Oh wow, okay, interesting. There he is. Oh no, warmer night, not so cold. Still woke up with a bit of a shiver though, but that was my own fault. I put my arms out of the sleeping bag, I think that was it. But I couldn't sleep, there was someone creeping around. Eventually I got up about 4 to have a look and have a pee, and then there is someone walking around with a bloody torch, shining it down on the ground. So I think they're casing the joint, see if anyone's left out any valuables. Oh wow, this is interesting. Let's get out of the light here. What are flags? Bonjour!
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 Ça va?
English!
Ah, sorry.
Oh, you
How are you?
I'm fine. Where are you going? Where have you been?
Sorry, I don't speak very good English.
Oh, sorry, okay. My fault.
I live to Brest.
All right, yeah.
And I go Besançon,
All right.
Switzerland.
Oh, Switzerland from here, wow.
And you?
I'm going from Roscoff to Santander.
Ah, okay. I can picture.
Yeah, of course you can, yeah.
What is the name?
My name is Andrew.
Sorry?
Andrew. Andrew.
Ah, okay. You make vélo d'ici?
Yeah, I'm making a video as I go along in parts, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so when do you think you'll arrive in Switzerland?
15 octobre, 15 août, 15 August.
August, oh right, okay. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Safe journey, safe journey.
Salut. Merci, thank you.
Merci, merci. Do you know, there are times in this life that you think, oh, lucky. I wish I could speak French now, because I'd have had a much better understanding of why he was doing it. He was struggling with the English, and that's my fault. I mean, I'm in a country, a different country, I should speak the language. Ooh, here we go, this is going to be even more interesting. Right, I might put you on hold here. See if you can film this. I might stop down the bank or tipple over. That was tight. Right, okay. Yes, I think that sums up why I did this journey, because I guessed I would meet some interesting people, and there was another example of one. Brilliant. Right, okay, yeah, back to last night. Didn't sleep well. I think I'm only relaying this information to let others know. It's not all sunshine and roses, as you can see today. I mean, it's quite hazy, it's a little bit chilly with a cold wind. I hope the sun comes out. Oh, and the other thing, just after I got back into the tent last night, after doing my recce of what was going on, about an hour later, by 5 o'clock, we had a thunderstorm. So, and you know what that means. Everything is soaking wet when you get up in the morning at 7 or 8. Ground's soaking wet, so there's nowhere to roll up your gear without it being wet. Luckily I reproofed the tent before I came away, so that sort of shed the water droplets very well. But I know I folded it up with water in it, so that means you're carrying more weight. Yes, of course you can stop if the sun comes out and dry it out, but that costs you time. It's not always convenient. One other thing, I remember back in another video early on, I was talking about I couldn't see let's start from the beginning. I use a Wahoo Element Bolt as a cycling computer, and I sync that with Ride GPS. Well, those two together is another whole can of worms, but we'll get into that later. But I mentioned that I couldn't see it, it had gone off, it was a black screen. Silly me. Just before I came away, I bought some sunglasses, extra pair, that were polarised. I think they're polarised anyway, because when I was wearing them at the time, it was quite bright sunshine, and I noticed if I lifted them up, I could see the screen was there. As soon as I put them back down, the screen was black. And if I was in the shade, that is why at the time I was, it's really black. It just looks like it's gone off. So that was a silly mistake by me, but I learned quite quickly. Ride with GPS and element bolt. Do you know, I've been thinking about this for a couple of days now, because I had problems getting from my home to Plymouth, and that was a navigation issue as well, and the rain. But I think the apps are well intentioned. I think they're trying to do their best, but I don't quite think the technology is quite caught up with their aspiration of making a good cycling computer and a good cycling app. I'm having trouble with syncing. Let's give an example. Right, they're paired obviously together, and it searches, so when I turn them all on it searches and it says found, and then it says connecting, and then it says connecting, and that goes on and on. I think it was yesterday or the day before, one day, it was 5 miles later, it eventually said, oh, connected. Now, if you think about it, there's something wrong there, isn't there? Because if you need up-to-date information, and certainly not 5 miles down the lane, that you might have been going in the wrong direction. So there's a problem. Another one with it is I sync the routes on Ride with GPS, and then I send them to the Wahoo in the evenings as a route, which means I can load up the Wahoo in the morning and it's giving me a route on the computer. And that's another thing, it keeps bloody beeping. I get red lights and then it goes green lights, and I haven't got a clue what that means. I've read the instructions and it probably told me, but I've forgotten. So I don't know what it means. So I'm riding blind. I tried to find out last night online, but of course then you've got the other aspect. You've always got, I haven't got unlimited data. I'm only carrying about 50 GB with me of data on my phone. I'm with Tesco Mobile, and it's enough. It is enough. But you're always aware that going online and searching things, you can end up really running through it really quickly. But anyway, so I did try and find out, and I couldn't, and not easily anyway. It wasn't obvious on their website. Excuse me. Now, so you end up with this situation where I load it all up, come out in the morning, and for the first couple of miles it's great. I'm on the computer. It's sending the information to my phone, and the phone is telling me directionals, you know, turn left in 500 yards, whatever. But also what I'm noticing, two things are happening, and I'm not sure whether it's orientation, because when I load the maps up sometimes on GPS, to me they look upside down, which is a bit silly, because when you turn them round, the writing turns with it. So I have to have it up so I can see the names of the places. So I can't use it, you know, round the, you know, upside down. But what I'm noticing is the Wahoo's telling me to turn left, and the Ride with GPS might be telling me to turn right. And I'm wondering if is that because the map's upside down? I don't know. But that's something else that should be easier to understand. And maybe I'm just a klutz, you know, just a dumbwit, I don't know. I'm doing my best. I'm 70. Right. Oh, that was interesting. That looked like a kingfisher. Anyway, sorry, couldn't get there quick enough. So yeah, I'm going along, and then suddenly the voice command stopped. and I'm unable to get them back on again. And I don't know what's doing that. And then I end up going to the GPS and trying to close them down. And then in frustration, then I try and delete it and start again from my current location. And then it won't let me delete, it won't let me do anything. It keeps saying ride in progress. I click on ride in progress and bonjour. And then it's becoming a frustration. I talked to a guy yesterday, I think he was from Scotland, and he said he uses Komoot, and I've got Komoot on the phone, but the problem I have with Komoot is it was voice commands as well. They work sometimes and not others, so he says it seems to be fine for him, and he said maybe they've done an upgrade and it wasn't quite as good and now it's better. So, you know, because they are upgrading all the time, I do understand that. So I might switch over to Komoot, but then I've got the issue, I don't know that I can sync Komoot to my Garmin, to my Wahoo. I think I can, I'll have to research it. But with all else that's going on, I really don't want to have to start researching that kind of thing, but I will have to sort it out because there's a hell of a long way to go. I'm managing to get over it now, it's just frustrations. The trike's holding up. It's holding up quite well. Not sure what that's going to look like. This is called a metalled surface, isn't it? Or tarmac, which is much nicer than coming out here. Oh, the sun's coming out now. I need that because I was chilly and it's warming me up. I'm normally wearing a jumper. People are going, let's see what happens here. Another lot, another property, you see. Bonjour. When you get these roads, we have to slow down and some tell you to stop. No, okay. Keep going. Oh, thank goodness for that. Taking the gate, moved it. Oh, down here, look at that. That's a lovely view, isn't it? That water looks quite low, actually. Maybe it's normal for the time of year. Look at these lovely seats. That, I'm going to find one later on and stop on it because I've got all I've had so far this morning. It was about 10:30. I've had an apple and my tablets, my statin, my mixed vitamins for the over 50s, and I'm taking cod liver oil. I don't normally, but I've taken one of those a day, and I've been taking that from about a week before I came away. I thought, well, that's going to hopefully keep my joints a bit supple. I'm okay. I'm still suffering a bit from that day when I had to climb up all those steps. I think I mentioned that. That did put some strain on my stomach muscles, my neck muscles, and muscles that I probably haven't used before. You know, I don't think I've ever had to lug up weight, 130, however many steps it was, about 6 times. Anyway, so I'm still suffering that. And lack of sleep is becoming a bit of a problem because it makes me a bit crotchety, but I might do a B&B tonight, or Airbnb or something, just to give me hopefully a good night's sleep. I'm going to see how far I get today. Had a good day yesterday. It was about 46 miles, as opposed to the day before that when it was 26. That was with the step episode. Yeah, the trike's holding up. There's one of the alt-lead bags, one of the clips that clips on at the back, is starting to get a bit sticky. That's worrying me a bit. I didn't bring spares. I suppose I could have bought some spares for them, but I had so many good reports about them, I didn't think they'd go wrong. So I'm not sure. Do you know, I thought about it last night. I was laying there trying to get to sleep. I'm thinking, what would I do if I have to if one of those panniers breaks and I can't use it, I've brought cable ties with me so I can always do a bodge. But I did think to myself, I'd have to end up throwing stuff away, wouldn't I, to reduce my volume of goods I carry. I'm like a tinker. Yeah, that's it, a tinker. I now know that I think I'm carrying too much. The clothes, I bought far too many. And I didn't, you know, I thought four of everything would be fine. I didn't know that would be too many, but it is. 3 would have been much better. 2 would have been perfect almost. Oh, another thing. The problem, washing clothes. The trouble I've had so far is I wash the clothes in the evening when I finish. Now shower, change into the clothes for the next day. But then I wash them out, and of course then I'm trying to dry them overnight. And because it being so cold and damp, they don't dry. They end up wetter than when I sort of wrung them out and put them on to dry. So now I've got clothes in plastic bags. I took one out the other this morning, and it doesn't smell too good. That was a pair of shorts. So I'm going to have to find a better way of doing that, I think. I'm wondering, maybe lunch times, I'm going to have to find a really sunny spot and maybe have an hour for lunch and changing gear now. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah. And get them dry in the sunshine. Because it's the bacteria, isn't it? The sunshine kills the bacteria. So. Use that. They didn't have trikes in mind, did they? Here we go again. I was talking the other day about these central bits. You can see it appears here as well through the tarmac. Now I can probably straddle this, it's not too bad. But that means my rear wheel is running over them, so it's bumpy. So I tend to come one side like this. So the derailleur is to the right, but then this left wheel tends to get the bumps in. Anyway. Onwards and upwards, I'm happy again now. Oh, there's a black bit. The sun's out, it's literally probably gone up 5-6 degrees in the last few minutes. I've got thunderstorms ahead. It's quite difficult to work out the weather, because if I search the weather for where I'm going, by the time I get there it's changed anyway, normally. And if I search the weather for where I am, it tends to be within a mile or 2 miles away. It's totally different anyway. So, but the general feeling is I think there's some thunderstorms, intermittent, today maybe, and tomorrow, and the day after, in the general area where I am. But as we all know, you can miss them, can't you? So I'm hoping for a bit of good luck. Oh, and like yesterday, finally, this has gone on too long. Coming to the end of the ride, I was struggling, so I knew I was trying to get 50 miles in. And I had enough time, I could have done it, but I couldn't find a campsite. I kept stopping and trying to locate a campsite. Nothing was showing up on Google. Tried all the, you know, the online ones where you can search, and nothing was showing up. So I thought, well, if I just keep going, I was actually ready to wild camp. I was actually scouting places out and thinking, oh, I could go there. And then suddenly, out of the blue, there's a little sign. They don't promote themselves, these people. There's a little sign on a gateway that I had to go through. Municipal camping. So I went there. And it was okay. It was €6, which is about £5. I had hot showers, loos. I could charge my phone and all my equipment free, didn't have to pay. So I'm spending more, and that was but the downside was, as I said, there was someone creeping around with a torch or a phone with a light on it, I don't know. And I didn't sleep, so I don't know what rating to give that actually. But it does, it's a bit rough, isn't it? Oh, I'm in the wrong gear. Let's go down. Right. It does make for an interesting life.